The legend at ringside, Muhammad Ali, put it, who will dare?
Mosley was quoted on the cover of a boxing magazine saying, it'll be like the first round of Hagler-Hearns. And Mosley comes out pounding away with a straight right hand. Jab going.
Good. Gets rocked by a jab.
Guns are lower now. He intends to dig those left hooks and Shane. He should wait a while and stand up straight and protect himself.
Shane, the early aggressor, and then as George pointed out, he'll look for opportunities to set up his left hook to the body as well.
Spinning it, it's going to cause him to do a lot of missing with the left jab. Take the spin off of the left jab and just sort of point it at Shane Mosley.
Perhaps the most important thing that's happened. Sharp punches, but keeps coming forward.
And this is what Shane set up and do it again.
De La Hoya's left eye, and just as I say it, Mosley lands another one and another. Has swelled several times in fights. He's pink.
Something back to him, making an even fight.
Shane standing right in front of De La Hoya, bring Oscar to try to stiffen him with his power.
Is around for power. You just can't do it with a fat.
Now Mosley backs up and then comes straight forward again. Rips Oscar.
And you see Mosley slapping with his left jab because he understands the speed of De La Hoya.
Cage. But Shane Mosley landing early and 15 of 44 jabs. If you look at the numbers, Shane won the first round. Shane switches back to the conventional stance. De La Hoya left hook to the body.
Done one fight after another. Look at his body.
Look at the...
Think about Oscar De La Hoya. Few fighters would pay the price. He can take what you got. He's going to be there for a while. You better pace yourself if you're Shane.
George De La Hoya looked drawn and stark.
Mosley.
Extremely hard for this fight. The 24 hours he had to recover from the weigh-in
to make certain that he's just where he want to be and don't let him go too far.
Both fighters settled into a slightly more relaxed groove again and misses just short with the left hook up top.
And just a little bit.
And Oscar gets the left hook to move in round number 2.
Oscar's starting to touch with his right hand to the body now. If he hits 2 hooks to the body, Shane is going to be a different fighter.
Dominant weapon in the welterweight division. De La Hoya hits him with a left hook. Mosley comes back with a body. Mosley cornered. Mosley leads with the right hand and then spins away. De La Hoya cautious, sets up a right and a left to the body. Much better second round for De La Hoya than the first. Gets the left hook into the pit in this round.
And you can
Mosley has slowed down. Oscar De La Hoya has landed that left hook to the body a half dozen times or more.
Watch this guy. He is seasoned, Shane Mosley. Anytime he can unlash a right hand that'll drop you.
He doubled up Mosley, landing 22 punches to only 11 for Shane.
It's right there. He's watching to catch Oscar and
jabs in the second round. Much more effective.
Shane Mosley puts his right hand up for that left hook. Beat him to the punch with his left hook.
And he knows De La Hoya is so conscious.
Momentarily buckled De La Hoya with the right hand, but De La Hoya is
wanting to be offensive with the left hook, and he can land his right hand lead, which has been effective for him so far. Most of them don't think Shane Mosley has the strength to hurt Hoya.
De La Hoya is making a mistake following this guy around without jabbing or anything. Jab, do something. Don't just follow him because he's going to hit you.
Say to Mosley, I don't respect you.
Oscar has his left hook, hand cocked for the left hook, getting closer, as the dad said, to smother the shots.
Oscar tripling up the left hook, trying to get to Mosley's body. Right hand leads across the top of Oscar's left glove.
Now Shane is even... There you go, he's following him around, he's not doing anything.
Mosley lands the right and then wrestles.
A lot of that was a weakness of the slight...
Battle lines clearly drawn.
Missed out De La Hoya's legs.
Sugar Shane throwing.
You don't want him to miss.
De La Hoya with a quick little left inside. Mosley one punch at a time. Hard right hand by Mosley. De La Hoya comes back with a left hook. Fighter against fighter here.
Mosley like a monkey.
Okay, Jim, I got a 2-1, 29-28, Oscar De La Hoya. Jim, in the first round, certainly Shane Mosley, De La Hoya 2-1. Oscar's walking him down, and somehow or another just appears to be the stronger guy. He does real hard left jabs and tremendous left hooks. So Oscar
23 punches to only 12 for Mosley. But some judges may have
Good left hook to the body.
Right to the pit of the stomach.
Now he gets one back himself. Mosley is known as the guy that if you hit me hard, I'm going to hit you hard.
Two big right hands for Mosley. Mosley going in with the left hook to the body.
De La Hoya is a clean fighter. No doubt about it. He's a clean fighter. Playing with the wrong guy this time. De La Hoya can hit, and he's never out of the fight.
De La Hoya with a left hook upstairs. Right cross partially blocked. That right hand
Of throwing on top of Oscar's Shane is moving to his right now.
did more hand speed and fluidity from Mosley. I expected more jabbing from De La Hoya, more of a brawl than I think anybody at this point. Big right hand for De La Hoya.
He's got knuckle problem. In the opposite dressing room about the fighter doing something to his hand.
That's again at center ring. And now
that means they're hurt.
a trade shot. Mosley digging a left hook to the center of De La Hoya's body.
Well, for good reasons. You're not throwing it much. You keep throwing that left one. Stick the jab.
In CompuBox numbers for the last 2 rounds, De La Hoya has been throwing more punches than Mosley. Not as much steam on it as was the case in the earlier rounds.
Sometimes he'll jab out of there. Sometimes he'll punch out of there.
De La Hoya double left hook to the body, comes back with a
Mosley get up against the rope. Sometimes
third one to the pit of the stomach. Mosley fires the right hand lead again.
he can get caught.
And remembers his own left hook to the body as his father and
3, but make it the last punch be the right hand.
hard right. Right hand uppercut by Mosley landed on the point of De La Hoya's chin. Oscar fires a right hand into the body by Mosley. De La Hoya answers with his left.
The jab. Start the jab.
Mosley wobbled by the left hook from De La Hoya. Mosley landed the right. De La Hoya landed a bigger left. As he was opening up offensively himself. Rising as the fight goes on. Landing and landing a lot. Oscar seems to feel more and more freedom in the ring against Mosley. And as George Foreman points out,
4 left jabs by Oscar. That can start hurting his back. You start hurting.
Oscar jabs, he rules.
Stiff jab of Oscar will break your back.
About Oscar's right hand.
Oh, he just should when you do.
De La Hoya has continually applied the pressure in this fight.
Yes.
Very often in the past, he said one thing. He says he'll do one thing and not the other thing. Far in this fight.
Absolutely. And you can see that Mosley, with his speed and fluidity, can succeed so many.
Better said, you accepted this challenge, you got to fight. He's not going to give it to you. You just got to go out there and get it. You're not going to
Change in the ring and apparently superior punching power. More and more factors in the bout. Mosley not
boxing, you're going to have to fight it.
throwing nearly as many combinations as was the case in earlier rounds, and not with regularity anymore. Elbows. Now, if you're fighting a guy and he blocks 2 body punches with his elbows, you might say to yourself, go up.
Never dealt with before with Shane Mosley.
Absolutely.
This body punch is coming from heavyweight, light heavyweight.
Well, that's exactly what one of their common opponents said.
This is as good as we've seen Oscar in a very long time. He's obviously very, very keyed and ready for this kind of fight.
When Oscar De La Hoya would throw a left jab, Shane Mosley would hit him with right hand over the left jab. In the last couple of rounds, Shane hasn't done it, Jim. 4 rounds to 2, 58, 56, Oscar De La Hoya. You mentioned early in the fight, not at all. Oscar keeps shuffling forward, flat-footed.
De La Hoya.
No question.
De La Hoya can't be still. You got to do.
As he starts to release his hands again.
Mosley's looking for something to take comfort, do something.
And Mosley, with the beginnings of a comeback here, throw that right hand lead, but more and more reluctant to do so. Great head movement, shoulder movement by Mosley there. Ducks inside and lands a left hook.
Trying to find a way to throw it in there. Now get ready for the right hand. Mosley has been setting it up all.
Left hook punch unflinchingly. Lands for Mosley on the point of De La Hoya's chin. Oscar taking the... De La Hoya attacking to the body. Right, left. Right, left.
Like this constantly.
Body, 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 and then the left jab right in the face. Good hand. Oscar steps through it again. Keeps coming.
Step back, clean, guys, clean.
You see when...
Right hand by Mosley after a De La Hoya left to the pit of the stomach. Fight. It makes...
Well, De La Hoya and Trinidad brought out the working out the best in each other.
Good big left hook by De La Hoya. Mosley comes through it and keeps throwing. Both fighters had... That's what Muhammad Ali did to torture Floyd Patterson one night back in the 60s.
Yeah, your back will just give out. It's that stiff jab, on and on and on. And Shane was not aware of that kind of
fight. Never knocked down, pro or amateur. So already Mosley has faced more pressure and more danger in this fight.
You want, if he's going to circle, you make his back touch the rope.
Mosley throwing 45 punches. De La Hoya throwing 67. Another Floyd Patterson reference. Mosley trying to energize himself while De La Hoya rips him with a big left hook. De La Hoya. Mosley tries to retaliate to the body.
Stiff jab. Oh, but a right hand by Mosley. As that
right through Mosley's best punches.
And Mosley stays in a southpaw stance.
But just as he has all fight long, so far he's walked. He's an unusual fighter in that he can fight very effectively, but I think sometimes an
trying to take away Oscar's left hook with this stance.
I just think that's what he does. He switches. He's a switch hitter. He does it out. He does it in the ring and practice. That's what he does.
Well, he's trying to step up the urgency of Mosley because he... And
Harold Letterman's card is even through 8. Mosley did throw...
A little trickle of blood from De La Hoya's nose.
Right hand by Mosley. For now, perhaps sensing that he might be behind in the fight, taking a couple more chances. The trickle of blood continues. Not terribly significant at this point.
You got to get close to do what Shane Mosley has in mind.
They trade again. Mosley lands a right hand.
Shane is just trying to get a little closer and a little closer. Every time he does, De La Hoya goes in and dig a body shot.
De La Hoya walks right through it.
He gets out of the way, which is very important. You hit him, you got to move out of the way.
Shane lands a jab. Oscar comes back with a 3-punch combination. Right hand lands for Mosley. And this time he took the left hook in return for the right. Another left hook for De La Hoya. Mosley steps in with his own left. Brilliant toe-to-toe action in the middle of the ring in round 9.
Now Shane Mosley is stepping up to the challenge. It might cost him, but he's stepping up. He's going to dig. He's standing right there on the pivot.
Well, I think it took
here to be great. Who's going to be bolder?
Big left hand by Mosley. Oscar De La Hoya unfazed.
Whenever he jumps in, he does well.
I think they both dared to be great. Mosley landing again. Mosley's fluidity and combination punching, carrying the day in round 9.
Pick your hands up, stand up a little straighter, and stay out of harm's way.
And Mosley staying busy with the jab as De La Hoya steps in and pounds to the body. In a moment, Shane Mosley is going to be taking the lead on Harold Lederman's scorecard. 68. Mosley, 20 of 32 power shots in his biggest round of the fight. Harold Lederman, how do you have it 3/4 of the way through?
Look at him, 86, 85, 5 rounds to 4. Sugar Shane Mosley.
But remember, it's Oscar De La Hoya's title.
And remember that in apparently very close against Pernell Whitaker and Ike Quartey by star power, no boxer has more star power on the current scene than Oscar De La Hoya.
But he's not jabbing, throwing combination, or staying out of harm's way.
Big right hand by De La Hoya.
Close.
One thing is evident here. Neither fighter is a triples hitter, not a home run hitter. Walker has never been a big puncher in the welterweight division, a good puncher.
With a straight right to the body. His spirits clearly lifted by his success in the past 3 rounds. Standing at center ring and taking De La Hoya's right hand shot.
Oh, he's standing right there on the pivot.
Well, I think it took
Jim and George that he felt that De La Hoya would slow down in the last third of the fight.
De La Hoya acknowledging to us yesterday that he was fatigued against Trinidad and it affected his thought process in the last 3 rounds. Mosley lands that looping right hand again.
Shane is getting the better of the left jab.
Reese.
A statistical profile, not the be-all and end-all.
Well, remember, De La Hoya, at his best, steps it up at the end of the fight.
Down to stretch they come.
Oscar never should have allowed him to get that close. If he's that close, hit him.
Championship rounds, as he did early in the fight.
Oh. With fast fighters, but the fighter you're fighting is even quicker.
Well, there's nobody at 100 as Shane Mosley. There's just nobody you could spar with who would prepare you for this.
There's no way. You just tended to do something.
Mosley stepping into the left hook to the body.
Stepping into uncertainty. But you just got to...
Oscar looking for range to try to go back to dominating with the jab. Oscar.
Would you step into my parlor? That's the kind of fight Mosley is doing now. He steps back a little bit, allows
Oscar's left hook less and less of a factor in recent rounds. When his left hook was totally nullified. He won the Whitaker fight with straight right hand. Boy, his hand's a little slow at this moment. Mosley getting a little breather. De La Hoya rips him with a combination.
Both fellas are pretty compassionate as far as one another's concerned.
Now, before the fight, this is friend against friend.
It's all or nothing right now.
I saw
this is a close fight.
Nothing to save it.
Blood coming out of De La Hoya's
take the fight.
De La Hoya trying to make his left hook count. Mosley bombing away with the right.
Both of them daring to be great.
Both going for the knockout in a classic pitch battle. Crowd on its feet. 2 minutes to go. Brilliant action in LA's biggest fight ever. Big right hand by Mosley. Another big right hand by Shane.
Oscar's hurt in the body. Now to the head he's hurt.
Outworking him. Outfighting him when it matters most.
You know, the word in the gyms is that Oscar doesn't like to get hit.
Shane Mosley is out hustling Oscar De La Hoya.
And he has taken some heavy shots. And he has fought like a warrior tonight.
Hands and applause. Trinidad fight is totally erased. This has been a war. The Weston. Big right. Final postscript on what looks like it might be an upset victory.
The Mosley right hand as it goes right over and around Della. There you see the right hand that slightly buckled. Now the jab has not been a factor in this fight as many people anticipated. It's the right hand that Mosley has been most effective. Inside, short. Whatever happens in this fight, people who haven't seen for are seeing a magnificent, versatile fighter. And now Del framed up to the challenge, lands his own. Good body shot by De La Hoya, catching a right.
It was a tremendous battle between the two young men who've known each other for 20 years. So who won? Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Gentlemen, here at Staples Center, Los Angeles, we go to the Budweiser scorecard. Lou Filippo scores about 116, 112.